Booker T is open to stepping into the WWE ring once again and getting in the best shape possible if his opponent is Roman Reigns. The five-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion hasn't stepped into a WWE ring for a decade. He has, however, featured a few times for his own promotion, Reality of Wrestling, and still looks in great shape. On the latest Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T was asked by a fan about him being involved in a triple threat match with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. The Hall of Famer joked that he may not be keen on stepping in the ring with Lesnar, but he could try to get in the best shape possible for a match with Reigns. That first part I like, leave the second part the hell out of. With Roman, I tell you, man, if I had the chance to get in the ring with anybody, anyone on the roster right now, it would be Roman, just to see what I have left in the tank. That's the match that, like I said, I'm not looking to scratch any itch or anything like that. But I really think that's a match which would motivate me to actually get in as tip-top shape as I possibly can. At this stage of the game, to be able to go out there and just do it, just to say I did, because the dude, man, he's good, said Booker T. The veteran explained that the tribal chief doesn't play wrestler when he steps into the ring and tries to get into the soul of every wrestling fan when he performs inside the squared circle. The tribal chief, who has held the Universal Championship for over 500 days, has faced and defeated a few high-profile superstars and legends over the last year. Reigns had an incredible match against Edge and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania last year, pinning both of his opponents simultaneously. He also had a brief feud with Rey Mysterio on SmackDown and John Cena later in 2021. But Reigns and Booker T have never been in a WWE ring together. Triple H has been part of Vince McMahon's inner circle for a long time and has been part of the most important creative meeting backstage. Former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. revealed that the game started disliking him after an argument over pushing Jeff Hardy. When the creative team approached management with the idea of Jeff Hardy becoming the WWE champion, Triple H was completely against the idea. He felt that Hardy could not be trusted with such a big responsibility. However, Freddie Prinze Jr. was able to convince Vince McMahon otherwise, and the charismatic enigma did end up winning the title. Speaking on Wrestling with Freddie, the former WWE writer shed some light on what went down during the creative meeting set up to decide if Jeff Hardy was to be made the champion. He also revealed that Triple H did not like the idea and worked against him in WWE going forward. All of a sudden, the door swings open and only Hunter comes out. He doesn't even look at me. He walks by. So this now means two things. One, this dude doesn't like me anymore and is probably going to work against me now, which is what happened. And two, Jeff is going to be the World Heavyweight Champion, which is the whole point of this in the first place. So I'm willing to take these bullets, and I'm willing to get this story through so he can be the champion, said Prinze Jr. Jeff Hardy did not get into any trouble when he was the WWE Champion. However, a year or so later he did get into trouble while he was holding the World Heavyweight title. And listen, again, Hunter was proven right. At the end of the day, Jeff got in trouble. I think less than a year after this happened. They gave him the other belt, the other championship, and then he got in trouble. And then got in bigger trouble and had to leave the company for a while, said Prinze Jr. The popular star admitted at the end of the day the game was proven right about Jeff Hardy's behavior. Ember Moon helped Ronda Rousey train and get ready for her surprise appearance at this year's WWE Royal Rumble. Moon was part of the WWE roster from 2015 to 2021 and is a former NXT Women's Champion. After being a key part of NXT, she was called up to the main roster in 2018, where she was hamstrung by injuries and poor booking. She was eventually released by the promotion in November 2021. Rousey thanked Athena on social media for helping her train and get match ready. She also promoted the former WWE Superstars Pro Wrestling School in her tweet. Athena is the head trainer at the dojo, a pro wrestling school based out of Denton, Texas. Rousey made her long-awaited return to the squared circle in the Women's Royal Rumble match last week, entering at number 28 and winning the free-for-all. This was her first match since WrestleMania 35 in April 2019. The former Raw Women's Champion revealed that she hadn't yet decided if she wanted to face Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 38. Rousey is set to feature on this week's SmackDown, where she is likely to have a confrontation with the brand's women's champion Charlotte Flair. Lynch is set to face Hall of Famer Lita at the Elimination Chamber show later this month, while Charlotte Flair is also advertised for the Saudi Arabia show. Reports indicate that Rousey could be set to take on Flair at AT&T Stadium, with the dream match against Lynch being saved for WrestleMania 39. Brock Lesnar, Shane McMahon, and Vince McMahon were all involved in a chaotic situation backstage while booking the 2022 Men's Royal Rumble. Shane McMahon has reportedly been let go by WWE after creating chaos backstage at the Royal Rumble event. The rumor mill has been running wild ever since, and more news has now come out regarding what exactly happened backstage at the event. Dave Meltzer of War reports that Shane McMahon, Lesnar, and Vince McMahon were involved in a messy situation backstage at Royal Rumble. Shane was pitching ideas for the match, which were vetoed by Vince. Lesnar pushed for other things and eventually got what he wanted, while Shane didn't. This seemingly left Shane frustrated. He was let go, so that's the major thing. It all stems from the Royal Rumble, and there were a lot of people that said he was very unprofessional backstage. It was just a mess. They just kept changing the match, over and over again. He wanted to do it one way, then Vince would veto it. Brock Lesnar would push for other things. Brock got a lot of what he wanted, and Shane didn't get a lot of what he wanted. And then Shane complained to a lot of people and I guess talked down to a lot of people. The report stated, a previous report revealed that Brock Lesnar pushed for himself to dominate the Royal Rumble match, so that he would look strong heading into WrestleMania 38. The Beast Incarnate is all set to take on arch-rival Roman Reigns at the show of shows. Lesnar got exactly what he wanted during the Royal Rumble match. He created a new record for having spent the least amount of time in the ring for a Royal Rumble winner. Lesnar spent just over 2 minutes 30 seconds in the free-for-all and eliminated 5 men to win the whole thing. The record previously belonged to Edge, who spent 7 minutes 37 seconds in the Royal Rumble match in 2010. Paul Heyman had a short but effective message for Roman Reigns after turning on Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble 2022. Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar were reunited earlier this year, shortly after the special counsel was kicked out of the bloodline by Roman Reigns. It all turned out to be a ruse, and Lesnar paid heavily for trusting Heyman. At Royal Rumble 2022, Reigns interfered in Lesnar's WWE title match against Bobby Lashley. As fans watched in utter shock, Heyman handed over the WWE title to Reigns, who hit Lesnar with it. Moments later, Lashley pinned the Beast Incarnate to win. Paul Heyman has now shared a short message addressed to Reigns. The cunning wrestling veteran wrote a 4-word message on Twitter, hinting that he will always be loyal to his tribal chief. Then, now, forever, together, said Heyman on Twitter. This isn't the first time that Heyman has betrayed his client on WWE TV. Fans who were around during Brock Lesnar's first WWE run in 2002-04 are aware of what Heyman is capable of. In late 2002, Lesnar ended his feud with The Undertaker with a big win inside Hell in a Cell, thus retaining his WWE title. At Survivor Series 2002, Heyman turned on Lesnar during his championship bout with Big Show, which resulted in the latter winning the title. This betrayal turned Lesnar into one of the biggest babyfaces in WWE at the time. Back in 2013, Heyman turned on current AEW star CM Punk. At SummerSlam, Punk met Brock Lesnar in a dream encounter. He came quite close to taming the Beast Incarnate, but Heyman's interference cost him the match. Lesnar was aware of Heyman's past betrayal, but decided to give him another chance. This proved to be a big mistake on his part, and he is no longer the WWE champion. Lesnar is the winner of the Royal Rumble match, though, and will face Reigns at WrestleMania 38. He would want nothing but to get his hands on Heyman after what happened at Royal Rumble.